Hi, Alyssa. We're gonna wait for people to arrive and then we'll get started. Can you hear me okay? Hi, Alyssa, can you hear me okay?
Yep, I can.
Sweet. Yeah, we'll give people a couple more minutes and then we'll get started.
Sounds good.
Are you in New York City?
No, Washington, D.C., actually.
Oh, cool, cool. Yeah, well, we used to get mostly people from New York, but more and more people from outside of New York joining.
Yeah, I think like a few months back, I noticed this meetup was available and it came across my feed. So I was like, perfect.
Nice. I assume you're already in UX field?
Not necessarily. I
Oh,
worked for a digital transformation office for the federal government. Um, I was cybersecurity and uh, have since retired entirely and taking a liking to UX. I want to be closer to color and happiness uh, than vulnerabilities and rage.
that's
Uh,
actually interesting.
yeah, so I've gotten really into visual software development as my COVID
Interesting.
project,
Okay.
uh, and like design systems and all of that. So I just so I'm like self-teaching UI UX.
Okay,
Uh,
and I assume that now, what is this, like 5 years later, you're still enjoying it?
oh, love it. Love it. I don't consider myself that good at it.
Well, the interesting thing is that now everybody thinks that no one, few people on LinkedIn would think that they're so good at it, but we don't know if they are. But then most
Yeah.
of us are grappling with what is going on?
Yeah. Yeah. So, and like, I'm really interested, especially for this,
Hmm.
um, because even in the last 72 hours, I've been getting into vibe coding. Uh,
Oh,
I know. So, and like how that plays into like UX and UI, especially.
yeah. It's so fascinating how you said that you want to get closer to the happiness and color, right?
Yeah.
And like less so from like defensive vulnerability because like when you're like closer to that side, you're actually looking for negative stuff. Your
Yeah.
mind is looking for negative stuff because that's your job, right? Defensiveness is that. But then with this, you're actually looking to create the positive things, right?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what's going to happen more and more is for designers to be more needed, as in like it's going to be easier to make things super fast. So
Well,
then how do you create something that actually create the happiness? Because that will bring people back. That will
yeah.
bring business.
Um, what I have, obviously, I'm in therapy for having to my last job.
Well, thank you for your service. No, seriously, because that is a sacrifice.
Yeah, yeah. And then in like I have OCD and workaholism and all that stuff. So in like my last year, I've been on this burnout recovery path.
Mm,
So I'm not working.
hmm.
And then now so I've like really been mindful of obsessing and not like doing all that stuff. But then this last couple weeks with really pair programming with AI and doing this vibe coding, and I'm like back to getting in an obsessive, but it's
Oh
because
yeah, you have to be careful with that.
I am, but it's so hard because things are so fluid for
It's
the
pulling you
first.
forward, right?
Yes, I can be so creative
Mm.
without roadblocks.
Yeah, I feel that
And
I work less hours, but my brain is on overdrive all the time, like overheated.
yeah, for me, I'm getting less burned out than I ever did before because things are actually going from my mind to the screen
Yep, yep, yep.
more than they ever have. And like I consider it like so much plaque buildup is getting
Yeah, okay, that's
released.
interesting.
Yeah. So like I'm getting all this like it's a spigot that's going off, and like that's where I'm just like having a hard time because like I don't want to turn the spigot off right now because there's like so much pressure that's built up.
Uh, yeah, it's been an interesting experience for me too. What's really exciting is the feeling that now I can create anything.
Yeah. Okay. Before anybody shows up, can I share my screen and show you
Yes,
what I've been
please.
able
I
to
don't know
show?
if anyone else will. Like this is the nature of this thing. 20
Yeah.
people sign up, but we'll see how many actually show up or when.
Can you enable screen share?
Yes, let me just do that right now.
Sorry, I'm just like super proud of this.
Oh, I'm glad. Yep. Now you should be able to. I'll share what if you know if it's just us, we can just do this, and I can also share what I've been working on.
Yeah. This is what I've created in the last 72 hours.
Whoa. So you're liking Gemini?
I am. I think it's really, I've tuned it to me.
Mm,
I took this to a meetup last night and I've never done it, like actually taking my work to a meetup, but I think I'm like that obsessed with it. Um, it's probably, this is probably going to end up being a startup that I'm going to do, to be honest with you.
yes, you
Uh,
should. I mean, start like putting it as a like what do you call it? Like have a landing page for it. Start like marketing it.
yeah. Um, and someone's like, "Oh, I don't like Gemini," and they work at Google, and they're a good friend. So like, he's like, "I'm more into Claude." I'm like, "All right," and I tried out Claude while we were sitting there. I'm like, it doesn't really seem like it's doing quite what I wanted to, but
Well,
I've been working the 2 weeks before that heavily with Gemini. So I think it Gemini knows me better already.
and you
And
know Gemini better.
yes. So
It's
let, here, I'll show you like how awesome it is if you don't mind humoring me for a little bit. All right. I've been annoyed now that like how these are collapsed and how I've been like my workflow. I realized, oh, like what sorry, I'm gonna interrupt myself. What I realized is the like specialness of this is I'm making this because I'm currently doing a CFP. Are you familiar with conferences and people submit proposals?
Mm-mm.
And then like right now I'm reviewing those proposals as a CFP reviewer.
Mm.
So I was like, oh, let me make a Rubik for myself. One thing led to another, and then I made this app.
As one
Um,
does, right? Like, yeah.
as one does, exactly. Um, and I can show you kind of how that like
Yes, please, demo
yeah.
it.
And
Pitch it,
then
Alyssa.
so but I realized what's so special about this is that you go from being you as the user are now actually the app developer. So when we talk about user-centered design, you're one and the same for the first time, really.
Well, hold on. User in this case, you're the designer though. You're
That's
designer, user, developer.
yes. So freaking mind-blowing. Cause yeah. So all right.
Yeah,
Um
somebody's joining. I don't know. You can continue, but I just want you
right.
to be aware. Hi, Bob. Yeah, Alyssa is just sharing the awesome thing that she built with AI with vibe coding in the past, what, 72 hours you said you built it?
Yeah. Can you keep all of
I think the
the
background was that she is reviewing proposals, so why not build something? Can't hear you, Bob, for some reason.
There,
Unless you
guys.
were lip
Hope you can hear
syncing.
me.
Now we
Oh,
can, yes.
how's it going there, guys? It's Bob here, currently calling in for the Greater Dallas area. So yeah, I'm
Oh,
a firm believer of AI and using AI. I've actually used AI to make a couple of applications before, something similar to Flappy Bird, a couple other
Are
games
we on
before,
here?
and
Is it
yeah,
working here?
that's me.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
I can hear you over there, Joe.
Joe,
yeah,
are you
sorry
in
guys.
Dallas also?
I was here alone and I just got too excited. It's my first time vibe coding in the last few days, and
No bragging.
I wanted to
Hmm.
share this to someone who could maybe appreciate
Yeah,
it.
Yeah, keep it
yeah,
bragging to the
yeah.
minimum, please.
Agree with him. Just the bragging is here. We just want to bring it down here. Thanks.
Hey, I see you on the screen.
Oh, I see myself on the screen. That's awesome.
All
I don't think it was that funny.
right. This is taking longer, but yeah, the we were showing.
Spit it out.
I can stop show and tell.
Yeah, let's just do like a little intro, if you guys don't mind.
Hey guys, Bob here. I'm only joking. Continue.
Go for it, Bob. Take it away.
No, I was gonna do a little YouTube intro for you there. I'm only
Yeah,
pulling your
looks like you
legs.
got the
Go ahead,
setup
man.
ready.
Yeah, I'm a podcaster.
Yeah, so what brought you here? And what's a little bit
So,
about you?
so yeah, as I said, currently calling from the Greater Dallas area. Currently calling from Arlington. I'm a firm believer of the usage of AI and applications, coding as far as that goes. I've made a couple of websites with AI. I've sold them for hundreds of dollars each. I've made a couple of applications, as I said. I've made a remake of Flappy Bird. Currently has over 10,000 downloads in the App Store. So that's great. I think 4,000 on the
Stop
Android
bragging.
store. So I'm just getting a little bit of feedback in my end. I don't know if that's getting zapped over to you guys. Anyways, that's just it's enough for me, I guess. Bob. Anyways,
So
Joe, you want to tell me a little bit?
what got you interested in this whole UX thing?
Just kind of like the hyper probability of it all. Just like living as like a W kind of for like the last couple of years. Just with the whole snowballing of what I just said there with the AI, intersection of it. Just fascinates me.
What do you mean by intersection of it?
Kind of the way like it crosses over like an X. Just like the AI and me. It just fascinates me.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I'm going to report both of you. So they're basically these kids who likes to just like join and like spam. That's like I could get the sense because they're bullshitting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if this is another one of them. There's somebody that's trying to join. I'm gonna see. You again.
Are they even actual people you think, or like bot like?
No, they're just useless people who have no life. Yeah. Sometimes
Have
they
you
would,
encountered that before?
yeah, because this is open, right?
Yeah.
This is an open thing, so they would like join with their friends. Basically, it's got no life, and then just like trying to, uh, what is it, Zoom bomb, and then they would like,
Yeah, I looked him up and I saw that.
yeah,
Like,
and then they would kind of like share like porn and stuff like that, and like just basically, pranking
yeah,
people. And I'm like, yeah, but like, get lost, like what, get alive, right?
yeah.
But anyways, I don't know if anyone else is joining. So I'm gonna go through the info session material,
Yes.
and then we'll chat more, and maybe if people join, people join.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
share my
change
screen.
locations. So I'm gonna be video off for a couple of seconds, but
Okay, no worries. Just want to make sure I'm sharing the right screen. Okay, cool. Can you see my screen now?
I can.
Perfect. So this is the info session for the course, and I built this whole thing in Claude. Well, Claude built this whole thing. So creating.
Awesome.
So we talk about this a little bit, and I would say that if you were to rate your AI skills, seems like you're pretty high up there. Because most people actually would join this info session, be like, yeah, I use AI. I've used it with ChatGPT. I ask it to edit my email, and I'm like, yeah, you don't know how to use AI. You think that you know because you know how to. It's like you know how to boil an egg and you think you know how to cook. No, but seems like you're on the higher end of that, like way ahead of that. You built something. Okay, so that's that. And just a little bit about me. Been doing this UX thing for a while. That's where I came from, like from the visual side of things. So graphic design became web design became UX. Been doing it as practitioner, also manage a team, build UX practice, taught UX at like a couple different places, helped CUNY here in New York with their bootcamp for UX also. So all that to say, education is my passion, but also practice it, and I combine the two. And this is based on my research also from this community. So I've run this community for 7 years now,
Oh,
8,000 members.
cool.
And this year, as you can tell, it's like there's a massive, massive change in
Yeah.
the industry and a lot of fear, right? There's a lot of fear. So I decided that okay, so I lost my full-time job earlier this year, in January, and then I was going to, go the predictable route, as in like looking for a job, blah blah blah. But big tech is also like crumbling, right? Like Google, you mentioned Google earlier. Google is struggling now. They're catching up, but they don't know what the business model will be like.
Hmm.
Same thing with like Amazon and all these companies. And then I have friends who work for those companies and they're miserable. So I'm like, the intersection of these different things, the my background, the need, my passion, I'm like, why don't I start a school? So
Awesome.
before that, I tried to reach out to like Good General Assembly and these places that I used to teach, and they're like, yeah, 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 I don't know. And then because they're like, it's at the end of the day, they're moving too slow. That's the end, the realization for me. And I'm like, okay, there's a need, why not? So this is the mission that I've set to like accomplish this year. It's not just to empower UX designer to become indispensable, but also for us to dominate. Because like what we discussed earlier, the in uncertainty, there's the rules are being rewritten, the roles are being redefined.
Yep.
Let's go, right?
Awesome.
That's the goal of this course, and
Yeah.
that's why I like real data, industry experience, and team experience. I'm combining that to create this. So I'm just gonna skip through some of these, you know, but I'm just gonna go through this. 62% of US designers already use AI. Maybe now it's close to 100 because this was from 2024. Because this thing is just like whoosh. Organizations use generative AI already, 65% according to McKinsey last year. Now every organization uses it, but the adoption is fairly slow in the sense of like a lot of these organizations are uh, essentially trapped, if you will, with their like subscription, right? For example, if you're a Microsoft shop, you can only use Copilot. If you're a
Yeah.
Google is actually good. If you're a Google shop, you have access to a lot of things that's actually good now because they've been moving fast. But if you're a Microsoft shop, you're lagging behind,
Yeah.
like banks and like government, right?
Me and my husband were talking about that last night because I showed him what I can. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, he's trapped in a Microsoft garden.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I showed him what I can do, and he's like, "Oh, I tried to see if I could do that in Microsoft with Copilot," and I was like, "No, you would, no, no. Like, there's so many reasons why."
Yeah.
But our friend that works at Google negotiated a blanket government rate for the government to be able to use Google with like at a very discounted rate.
Yeah, Google is
And it
getting like
comes
really aggressive.
with AI and
Yeah, and the latest model of Google, the Gemini 2.5, is actually really good. Before that, it was crap, honestly. Like before 2.0 was crap.
so I was working with it last week and like literally having pair programming. So I wasn't like doing coding with
Mhm.
it.
You're managing it, right?
Yeah, yeah. And I was like, are you sure like this conversation doesn't need to end? Like we've been talking for at that point like 4 days for like 64 hours, I want to say. And it was like, no, we're fine. We can keep going. I was like, I don't need
Yeah.
to do a new conversation.
Now
Like,
that's the thing that the Gemini models are actually really good at. They have like massive context window.
yes,
Claude doesn't have that, but Claude is actually really good at programming. But you need to start, and then it depends on your style. For
yeah,
me, Plot works better simply because one, I'm used to it, right? That's
yeah,
one a big part of that. So I know the limitations, where to push, how to communicate with it. So that's a big part. The second is actually my brain works better that way to maintain the context window, so that way I can like organize it outside of my brain, like what you said, like bring it out, and I could see, okay, this is the progression in the
yeah,
blocks of chats. But that's
yeah,
like the working style, right?
yeah. And I think for me personally, I like to keep things in one environment.
Mhm.
And the advantage for me is for right now, because when I'm getting started with all of this, they seem like fairly comparable. And the advantage is Google has GCP and it has the Vertex AI.
Uh,
It and
yeah,
I'm able to accomplish the
can
app
pull that. Yeah.
because so like with all the features that it has because of the Firebase.
Hmm. Well,
So
there are other ways like the competitors coming after Google, like Supabase and like other things
oh,
that
I
you
love I've been a super base girly up until 72 hours ago. Like hardcore. So I'm probably like once I get like what I'm doing to like a solid MVP, I'm gonna see how I can do it in Lovable, especially since I'll have the UI and then I can screen capture it to
yeah.
convert it to Figma. And then with Lovable, you can go from Figma to an app.
It's gonna be interesting to see. Like, I don't know if this course is for you, honestly, but from what I'm hearing so far, because here's why.
Yeah.
Just being honest with you, right? So it seems like for most people, they don't know enough AI. They come from like the place where like they're been doing UX design for a while and they don't know what it is. And like I said, they know how to boil an egg and they think they know how to cook. And then they want to learn that for like survival. For you,
Yeah.
it's the opposite of that almost. Like you already know a lot. Now you want to activate even more,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it could be interesting. I mean, it will be useful in the sense that the UX side of things, the UI UX things, will make whatever you build at least like 5, 10 times more effective, right? Because at the end of the day, it's becoming easier to build. It's becoming harder to identify the human side of things. But we'll see.
Yeah. My thing is, I don't know how to do anything without AI really. Like, I don't know how to use Figma and I don't know how to code.
Well, you probably wouldn't need to know. But the question is, do you get to where you want to get to? As in, like, do you have a workflow and process that you could use to make sure that whatever AI is building, you can evaluate that and know that this is working, right? So
Y-
that's the design process that we're applying. So the tool itself, like Figma, I haven't used Figma in months, and I don't miss it
Okay.
because Llama
Yeah.
can do that way better than Figma. You know how to
Really?
use it, right? So that's why like we applying the design thinking so that we can use these tools and we're not trapped by the tools, by the garden, if you will. Like in the last lesson, actually interesting, I gave this exercise to the class, right? So they were prototyping something in 30 minutes
Yeah.
and we've been using Claude in class. And Claude was not working because they just released 4.0. And
Mhm.
and like there's like outage, right? For whatever. They're like, oh, we can't use this. They still delivered. They just like figured it out and they just use different tools. Now,
Yeah.
contrast that with like the beginning of the course, the question was always about the tool. Which tool should I use? Or which tool should I invest? What other tools are we gonna cover? Right? But then by then they don't care. They're like, oh yeah, we'll just use this, we'll just use that. It works. And then they deliver at the end.
So so I was like hopped on into like a startup for like equity stake.
Hmm.
I didn't even care about it. It was more like
For
I'm
fun.
retired. I wanted something to do with my time.
Hmm.
Um, until it started having daily stand-ups at 7 a.m.
Oof.
Uh, yeah, because they're in Japan.
Um,
But it was kind of a bless your heart situation where someone had gone to business school but had zero experience like being at a business ever, or like I swear to God, like they're like a teacher kind of thing. Um and ever working in a software development office. So like their reality was in like academics, and they were trying to build uh, an app to help teachers reduce their workload outside of school hours.
mm,
Uh,
like lesson planning and admin stuff like that.
and like grading.
Yep. Yeah.
And so, but they themselves were very academic. So they were just like, no, but I read that in a book. And so we should do lean product development
Yeah,
and
okay.
like here like we're doing stand-ups and sprint planning,
So
but
they're
like,
doing rituals without realizing why they're doing it.
and I was trying to explain that to them. I was like, yeah, but like you're spending it's a 2-hour sprint planning meeting, but at the end nobody knows what each other's doing, so like it's not really effective. And like
And that's not
you're
really lead.
no, and like you're you every time we talk within the sprint about like, hey, this we don't actually have a dev environment, and like we have 78 branches happening, and like there's a problem here. You're like, focus on the KPI because we're doing user testings. It's just like,
Yeah, they're just like doing things without realizing why are we doing this?
yeah.
And that's
Uh,
actually a really interesting thing you mentioned because with this AI thing, a lot of times because it moves so fast,
yeah.
you need to actually slow down and ask the question, where am I in the process? And what do I need next?
So that's what made me break apart from them. I was like, are you willing to pivot? Because
Mm,
they were so obsessed with like doing things in specific tooling. And I'm just like, 5 different tools have come out in the last like 4 months. Like, you forget that Figma like
Sigma
design that
is dying now.
yeah, that you develop, that you like had, you spent 2 years with somebody that they developed that hasn't gotten implemented, because you can do it so much better and lovable,
Yeah.
right? Like, and I tried to throw them a bone. I sent them a message this morning, and I was like, are you willing to pivot? Like, are you willing to like change course? Like, I asked them directly, and they like hee hawed, but like eventually gave me a direct no. And I was like,
Yeah, then
this isn't gonna
you're
work.
the one who has to pivot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, and I try, yeah, I was gonna show them what I did, and like, they're like, no, can you send me a screen recording? It's like, no, fuck you.
No, yeah. The thing is that this is what I learned. This is from it's a funny thing that I learned from the Bible a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
Actually it's something that Jesus said that was like kind of like, huh? It says that do not throw pearls to swine. Do not throw
Yeah.
pearls to pigs.
Yes.
So
Yes.
like if you have something valuable and you throw it to people who cannot appreciate it, who doesn't know what it is, like you're throwing pearls to swine, they're gonna attack you because they think you're attacking them. Like this, you try
Yeah.
something amazing, valuable at them, but then they're like, "Wow, you're attacking us." They're gonna attack you back. So don't waste your valuable resources, and time is one of them, obviously.
Yeah.
Like people who are not ready for it. And that's what
Yeah.
I learned from this whole thing, also from teaching, like trying to convince people to join the course. And so I'm like, yeah, and I'm like, bro, you're lagging behind every single day with this AI thing. And
Yeah.
and it's like, yeah, but like it's expensive. It is expensive, but then if you compare it to like a day of like getting a job in this, then you're gonna be like,
No, anybody who says it's expensive doesn't understand the true cost.
well, that's true. That's very true because they don't really see it that way. They see the cost as in like the dollars, but not the opportunity cost, the true cost. Exactly.
I can, like, I swear to God, and I don't mean to be like talking about the app. Me doing this app in the last 72 hours has taught me more about software development. Like, I have a degree in computer science. I didn't use it for the last 15 years because I was doing cybersecurity. But like, but like the last, like, I'm not sure if you've heard of 18F.
Mm-mm.
Um, it got canceled, according to Elon Musk.
Well, he did
But
not cancel.
yeah, so that's neither here nor there. Um, but it's like it was a it's like the
Yeah,
startup within the federal government.
yeah.
Yeah. So, but like I never understood agile, or it was hard to understand DevOps from like actually working there.
Mm.
I understood it way more by doing it in the last 72 hours.
Yeah,
Like, a
I
lot
think
of things, like I've even read about, I understood more by
yeah,
doing.
that's the reality of it, right? When we're actually doing it on the trenches, that's when we're like, oh, and like something happens, oh, and that's what this thing will allow us to do more and more. It's so crazy.
If I was a real user going to my software company with all of these user requests that I just would have put in, it would have been thousands of dollars for the amount of changes I've been making.
Well, yes and no, right? Like in the way they've been doing things, yes. That's why the
Yeah.
productivity is crazy. Actually, let me just continue. That's a good segue. Um,
Yeah.
Productivity gains. This is from the design thinking, not even in the software development, right? In the design process, I've been seeing at least 3x. And in most cases, this is conservative.
Yeah.
Like I remember one of the conversations we had in like second lesson, actually. We had like 6 week in this course. In the second week, one of the students was like, should I not mention to my colleagues that I use AI? I feel like I'm cheating. I've been like, this feels like dirty because it's too easy now. It's too fast.
Mhm.
Right? Like you said, like 70 hours, like what the hell? This just happened. And this is conservative. But for a lot of people, they're like, whoa. And productivity gains not only in quantity, the speed, but if you knew how to use it, the quality also increases. For example, um, research, right? You've
Yeah.
been able to like even just what we said, like you had the prototype 72 hours, you tested it, you could get better quality with your prototype than like a Figma prototype.
Oh my God.
The quality is just insane. And then you can iterate faster. That's the real lean right there, right? And then you
That's
just
what
fix it and then you learn again. And like company that's still stuck without using this in their workflow, they're still talking about it. They're still sprint planning. And we're already getting 2 rounds of revision, 2 rounds of iteration of our prototype and serving the customers.
I that's what I mean. Like there's so like don't do documentation. Like I used to hate when people said that. Now I get it when I actually see how much the features can change
Yep.
rapidly,
hmm You do need
right?
documentation, just enough
You
though.
do you definitely do, but if it's actually changing so fast, you don't. But in my previous experience, things weren't actually changing fast.
Yeah, then there's nothing to document.
Yeah, the like I am telling you, like the apps I've seen getting developed, we're getting like one feature every 3 months.
hmm
Whereas
You're lucky.
it exactly. Whereas like what I'm doing one feature every 30 minutes.
Yeah. Well,
And
no,
go
the
ahead.
scary part though is that soon enough everybody's gonna realize this, right? And
Yeah.
then what's gonna happen is that like what you said earlier, you're like, oh, I want to turn this into a startup. More and more people are gonna realize that. Right? So businesses gonna come left and right. Now, if you release one feature every 30 minutes, right? How do you know that it's gonna deliver value?
But that goes to my earlier statement where I'm the user doing the development.
Well, if you're the end user, you are designing for yourself and developing for yourself, then that's perfect, right?
Yeah.
But then when you're turning into business though, let's say you're delivering that for the teachers, right? That's when this becomes like really interesting problem now because I'm like, oh, how do we actually
Well, that's why I wanted to talk to the swine so much. Because that's what I think the problem was is he was the end user.
mm,
He was that and I was like, what I'm doing, you should see this because this is how you should be doing it too because you're actually the end user for the product you're trying to develop.
yeah,
And you would have never actually pivoted because you're too hooked in to the product.
yep. Well, that's the thing with UX, right? We're not the user.
Yeah.
So the problem that you just described is that the swine won't see the way you see it,
Yeah.
right? So even if you say, look, this is comparable to what you're trying to do, I just want you to see this almost like a metaphor. They can't see it. They're stuck in their own way, their
Right.
worldview. So that's why
Yeah.
like we need to make it, for example, if you build something that's maybe using their stuff, then they're like, oh, then we can see it. And that's the part that's actually difficult now. It's becoming more and more difficult to bridge those things, to create things like to facilitate the movement
Yep.
beyond the building, because the building and generating becomes so easy now.
And for me personally, I like what I'm thinking. I am like a creator.
Hmm.
I would get this as a startup. I would get it to the point where it's like usable and like had usability and users, and then I would sell it. Because
Hmm.
then at that point, I'd off being like creating something else.
So you're like the visionary starter and then get somebody
Yes.
to scale it.
Yes.
Nice, nice. Yeah, so in that case then I think the major thing is really getting it as fast as you can to the place where people can say, ah, yeah, I want this, and start giving you money, right?
Yeah.
So that you can start showing the traction so you can sell it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's interesting that the last, well, I'm still working with them. The last project I work on is a marketplace to buy and sell businesses
Oh, cool.
because
Yes.
I love it because I think this year and maybe even next, there's gonna be like a massive explosion in entrepreneurship
I I want to believe you, but at the same time, I almost don't think so.
because what? People are not ready for it.
Because I think we lost our edge somewhere.
What do you mean by that?
It could, I think it's my cynicism.
Well,
And
that's what
maybe
we're
I've
good at
just been,
cybersecurity.
yeah, and maybe I've just been like stay at home too much and I haven't like been in the right circles.
Hmm.
Or like I'm past my prime. I just remember like the 2010s, the 2015s when like there was the bubble of like startups and like people had the drive for like
You'll see this. You'll see that. I promise you,
you
you'll see
think
that. Yeah,
I think
because
it'll be so cool.
the thing that you and I experience as in our mind, just like getting pulled, like, oh yeah, yeah. I've been hearing that more and more, even in my class, right? Now I have 7 students. Few of them already started talking about, oh, and they came because few of them came because they wanted to be more competitive in the job market.
Yep.
Now, at least 3 or 4 of them started talking about, oh, I should turn into a startup
Yeah.
because they're like, oh, what if I do this? What if I do that? And that's the stuff that I find really satisfying as an educator. Is like for me, education is not about imparting knowledge or information because you can find information anywhere.
Yeah.
In fact, it's the opposite now. It's too much information. My
Yeah.
role is actually to structure it, to create the structure, guide you to and create opportunity to actually for you to practice this thing and put it together and then like, oh, I gain evidence, evidence, evidence. Oh, I'm the more powerful version of myself because the identity is upgraded. Then from there, you the behavior will come. The behavior is automatic because your new identity, new person. And that's cool because one of them was like, oh, I feel like I have superpowers now. I'm like, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
that's been very satisfying for me to see. Okay, let me like go through this because we
Yes.
I love chatting with this. So career impact, I don't think this is relevant for you because you're going there, but salary for UX people going up makes sense. As people are getting left behind, they have the market for themselves. Mhm.
Well, I'll say this. One of the reasons I joined is I have a cousin and a sister-in-law who I've been trying to who have like UX skills and I want to push them towards AI.
Oh, they
And
need to. Not only
Yes.
it's not like a should, but it's a must now. It depends on how they want to get there.
Yeah. So I'm like, this is also like recon, like, is
Oh,
like this course for them too.
nice, nice. So yeah, so the data is clear, and especially since you've experienced it yourself, you know that this is not going back. There's no
Yeah.
going back now. The question really is for every single person, because this is becoming new computer skills. Is this becoming new Microsoft Office? Remember when like they asked for that in like job posting? You need to have Microsoft Office skills. Now
Yeah.
no one asked that, right? Is AI generative AI skills will be that.
Yep.
Um, the question is, what's the best way for you to learn so you won't get left behind, right? And somebody asked the same thing. Oh yeah, I could find this on YouTube. You can, but how much time can you want to spend on that, right? How do you get there faster? So that's what that is. So as you can tell, so this is I like that, right? Yeah. Just told, prompted, did it. Uh, um, main thing is like tool overwhelm integration, right? Like you said, like in the past month, how many tools, new tools, because we're stuck in a lot of times people in, especially people in the UX field though, you actually think differently because you come from different side, but people in the UX field are very deterministic thinking.
Hmm.
We think that A, B, C, D, right? So that's why like what tool? Figma. What is the next Figma? Because before that there was Sketch, before that there was Photoshop. But now it's not about tool, it's about workflow, right? So because like with the workflow, if let's say cursor is down, we can replace it with Windsurf. We can replace it with something else, even Claude, right? The tool can just plug and play. But if we know what the workflow looks like, then we know that we're gonna get there. There, as in like where we want to end up, because this thing could take us somewhere really fast, and then we're like, where the hell am I? Right? So another thing that's challenge that I've been hearing is the personal barrier for adoption. No one has the time, right? No one has the time, and they're like disciplined, like even though like I heard this from people who are out of work, and but they're like, oh yeah, but I don't know how to structure this. The self-learning is hard, the accountability. Practical, not theoretical. A lot of the courses I did competitive analysis as I should, right? I did the UX UX research for this course. Most of them are theoretical. They tell you about neural network and then like tell you about this and this and this, but then by the end of that, it's like reading Malcolm Gladwell's book. I'm like, wow, that was awesome. But I don't know how to use this now. But for this course, from day one, you're already like doing things. So it's like internalized by doing. Industry proven simply means that it's all just like back to like what I experienced and I'm still practicing. So it's not, again, it's not just BSing, and I enjoy practicing actually. So who is this for? Mostly for people who are familiar. So I put 2+ years UX professional simply because I don't have the time to err, nor like this is the within the scope to explain what is UX, what is like the user flow diagram, what is wireframing. This is for like people, if you're, for those people who are trying to change career, want to learn UX and AI, this is not it. This is for people
Hmm.
who already know how to do it, who have built stuff, know the process, and want to make it more robust, faster, more effective with AI. Um, this is the demo. I'm gonna do this real quick. Have you been playing with agents?
I don't know.
Okay. So I'm gonna build this. Well, build. Okay. Okay. A little context, right? When I work for an agency, well, this is loading. When I work for an agency, one of the first thing for a new client to experience is like, oh, I want to know how smart you are, how good you are. So do a UX audit of my site.
Sure.
Tell me what's right. Makes sense before they commit to more. That used to take me and my team like at least 20 to 30 hours, depending the site, right? Normally, the way that works is that, okay, we'll identify the conversion event. Like, let's say it's an e-commerce. Normally, a lot of our clients back then was e-commerce. Would be like, okay, purchase. Okay, it's conversion point, right? Conversion event. And path to purchase typically is like homepage, product landing page, product category page, product detail page, cart, checkout. And then for each of these, we go deep into each page, identify the content that's missing, visual, all those things. Audit like checklist. That takes 20, 30 hours, which makes sense. Now we'll see how long that takes. You have a site in mind that we can audit to make this
Yes, hold
more improv?
on. Lutasecurity.com.
Can you drop it in the chat, please? Let me
Yep.
copy it over. Okay. Is it?
Yep.
Is this yours?
No, it's my friend's.
Okay, let's see. So the AI agent just went to the website, right? They just went to the website, review it, and identify the conversion events. Contact for a submission for a consultation, requesting a quote, signing up for newsletter or updates. Which one do we want to optimize for?
Requesting a quote.
Okay, number 2. So what happened there is that it used tool to go there and use the training, the instruction, the system prompt to actually provide the first the greeting and then now provide the options like this. Otherwise, it's just gonna be like, you know how it is with these LLMs. And then I ask it to provide this way of displaying information because it doesn't have the tool for visualization. So I'm like, okay, this is the flow, and then identify the friction point, right? And then it's saying like friction point identified, quote request form may be lengthy or unclear, blah, blah, blah. And it used the knowledge that I gave it based on this.
Mm.
So it's not just like, so this has been trained to use specific knowledge, like hundreds of points of heuristics, essentially.
Yep.
And then they audit the pages. For the content is this, content order, layout. So this is, as you can see, this is standardized format that I gave it. So this is how I normally would audit those pages. As opposed to saying, rely on your training from me.
Yes.
Doing it
Yes.
this way, right? So that way it's more useful for me. And then goes to every single page again. Every single page, just go with observation, recommendation, observation, recommendation. So you're not just like blah, 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 that I can use. And then at the end, prioritize it based on UX impact and dev effort. So this is something that you would have taken me like at least tens of hours to do.
Can I give you another one?
Sure.
Sorry, this one really bothers me more than that one.
Okay, let's open this one. Justhacking.com. Oh, okay, just hacking training. Interesting. That's a lot going on here. Okay, let's see what it tells us.
It has no hierarchy.
Okay, let's see if the AI can help us with this. Okay, what do we want to optimize? Course enrollment, newsletter sign up, or requesting a demo?
Course enrollment, that's the one that makes you money.
Okay. Is this yours?
No, it's my friend John. John Hammond. He's like a YouTube sensation.
Okay. The enrollment form is lengthy according to this. Okay, let's see. Conversion flow. Okay, the page, visual hierarchy, but the important CTAs could stand out more. I think the problem here, visual design, this is where AI actually falls, right? Because it doesn't understand that there's too much visual noise. For us,
Yeah.
you're like, that's a lot of things. So yeah, so this is a part where like, you need to like human beings to like spot check this thing.
Well, and I'm curious, have you iteratively gone through with the AI and like gotten like a site like this and being like used it to tweak the AI to be like,
Yep.
yeah,
And
yeah,
you just add more to the knowledge base.
yeah.
So you train it more. Now, the problem with a lot of these AI thing is that it's even though it may have vision, it doesn't have vision the way we have vision, right? It has vision
Mm,
as in like it can understand what's on the page quantitatively, but qualitatively it doesn't have that aesthetics. Like for us, or for example, right? And I went, wow, this is a lot, right?
yeah.
For AI, it's like, oh, there is this, yeah, there's this. It doesn't actually have that
That's
ability for like the visual, like for example, looking at just even this is a lot. I would simplify this, right? Because like there's the thing at the back, there's like the drop shadow, all these little things add cognitive load to my brain. But the AI just sees this as, oh, this is just an image. It's a nice looking professional image. So it doesn't
I
add to that.
I hated it so much. I redid it. Uh, it this I haven't touched it in a while, so a lot of things aren't rendering.
Yeah, like for me, the main thing is that there's two flow of information, right? Like it goes down and then it goes to the right. And then this is like so much going on, but the even here the CTAs are very low
Yeah,
and it's tiny,
yeah,
right? And explore is not a good CTA. So, but that's the thing that AI is like, okay, but it has CTA, it's very prominent because it doesn't see. Now, that's why we still need the humans, and we, like you said, normally for something like this, I would look at them like, oh, actually, AI, there are certain things that I need to train you on. Just
yeah.
like I mean, at the end of the day, it's like an intern, right? Like you have an intern that's like super eager,
Yep.
but like with this, what I would do is that I would use that, like, okay, the AI says this, but actually it could be better if we did this.
Which model did you use for,
For this,
yeah,
this one I think is one of the basic OpenAI one,
yeah.
3.5 turbo or something. So basically the basic one.
I'm curious if you used like one of the newer models.
It would perform better.
Yeah,
The other thing that if I were to build this, right, for like an actual implementation, I would have this model and maybe like maybe something smarter to conduct the audit, but then have a smarter model to review and give feedback to train it
yeah, yeah,
before I review it, right? So actually having two employees essentially to do this, and then they can go through the loop first until the second model, the smarter model, feels comfortable to present it to me.
yeah,
That way it could save me time and then just like iterate faster.
yeah. And
And
this could also, sorry, I'm
no, I
thinking
love
about
it.
a
I'm loving this.
development. Like even like this is a good, like for teaching purposes, a really good way to show different models and their results too.
Yeah.
Like if you had the same app and you used an earlier gen model and then switched the model and like like a newer
Mhm.
gen, the difference in results.
Yep. And in fact, there is I don't know, are you familiar with Misty?
No.
So let me just open that since we're geeking out anyways. This is like if you want to play around with different models, like the open source models, right? You can download this MSTY, and then where was it? Split chat. Then you can test the different models next to each other.
Nice.
And you can go and you can get all the models, just download them from like Olama. I mean Olama.com, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, and then so there's like a lot of different models for different purposes. I used to wonder like when I first saw this, right? Because I'm so used to like, oh yeah, just get the latest model. But actually now I'm realizing more, it depends on the purpose.
Yes. Yes. I'm having, so I just a couple weeks ago, I bought a Mac Studio
Mm,
desktop so I can actually like really have some computing power. I'm on a MacBook Air right now, which is fine for like video calls, but I'm finding for what I actually want to do for development, like
yeah, it's not.
it's not. It's not.
And then there's like this other thing called Pinocchio where you can try different things. But yeah, I'm realizing that I need an NVIDIA GPU for a lot of things. But like you can use replicate or like Hugging Face because they have the so that you don't have to keep investing in hardware.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Just use the
Yep.
API from them. Anyhow, so that was the demo. And one thing that I like to use is something like before and after, comparing
Mm.
traditionally, this is how much time I would use, and also seeing the steps. Am I still following the same steps, right? Because that's how I can be sure that we're grounded on the things that work. The process, that's what a process is, something that works. Um, and this is, again, this is very conservative. It's actually 10 or 20 times faster. But then when I'm presenting this to people who are not into this AI, who are not familiar with this, if I present it as like 20x faster, it sounds like really bullshitty. So this is
Yeah.
very conservative. But you could see why. And you could see why it could be even better in terms of quality, because we could look at even more data points.
Yep.
Okay, now back to the course. This is the commitment for per week, 5 to 7 hours, because it's live session. So there's a 2 hour live session Eastern time, 6 to 8 on Tuesdays. So a lesson, and mostly I'm making the student work because it's very hands-on. Do demo, and then we do this together, and then you do it, and then we talk about it. You do it, and then we recap. And then there's a small group component of that too, so that as you know, like everybody's learning from one another, the way we do things, the way we prompt. So there's that. So they give critique to one another as part of that, and they have the project work also. They're on
Mhm.
their own capstone, so that by the end of this, they have something to show that has AI. So for like the career potentially. But also something that's tangible, right? Because if
Yep.
we're just doing it from the for the class, it's not a real use case, and then the learning actually happens when you refine the output, not when you're generating. Because generating, like, oh, it looks good. No, when you actually try to get to something that's very specific, you're trying to make it do your thing. That's where the learning comes. And then there's also check in with me to make sure that they're not blocked, because that's the real value here is really for me to help the students unblock themselves, as opposed to just, okay, just go watch YouTube. That's not useful. And so yeah,
Um,
that's the end of it. So
so going back, is that like a paid kind of thing, or is
oh, this
that
whole thing, yeah, the course, okay, actually, wait, I'm skipping. Oh yeah, there is this. This is the course, the
gotcha?
course,
Yeah.
yeah. So the tuition is 1990,
Yep.
with early bird 1490, and we have payment plans available also. And the process is just fill out application form. The reason for that is I want to filter, I want to qualify people who to make sure they're ready for it, right? If they had
Yeah.
2 years of experience, that's really the main qualifier. Then I want to talk to them to see if have you built anything? Have you gone through the process? If they're like, yeah, I just finished college. I'm just interested in this. This looks like there's money there. I'm like, no, I'm sorry, this is gonna do you a disservice. So that's what that is.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Cool.
So that's that. And then in 6 weeks, actually, they would in the way I design this, I want them to be ahead like at least 6 months compared to other people who haven't been doing this.
Yeah. No, I think that's awesome. That's like amazing.
Now, can I show you what I built?
Yeah, please.
Well, I'm building. Let's see.
Actually, and can I give you my email address so I can send this
Sure.
to
Okay, actually, let me give you the landing page for this thing
yeah,
also.
yeah, yeah.
So this is the course landing page,
And can
and
I have your blog page too?
my this one.
Yeah,
Play around with this.
yeah. If that's okay.
Of course. I mean, this is my. It used to be used to be my portfolio
Yeah,
site, and now I'm just like this is my playground.
yeah.
Um, okay, so this whole thing, the landing page, also built vibe coding using another
Love
tool,
it.
right? So, and it's cool how like okay, I'm gonna this thing. You see how it's like animated the CTA?
Yeah.
It was just like I first the gradient with the border. I'm like, oh, how is that? Let me see if they can do it. Oh, it works. Can you animate it? Oh. And then like I remember like at the from the homepage also, I'm like this firefly thingy.
Love it.
Just like, okay, add that. Like, ooh, it worked. And then like, okay, I want like a little arrow. Make it like bounce a little bit. Make it more playful. So things like that, it brings it to life. Like, oh, this is great.
Did you do it in Claude?
No, I use a different tool. The tool is called onlook.com. So
Nice.
it's cursor based, but then they make it more for a designer. It's still kind of buggy, but it's good enough for what I'm trying to do. And it's a
Yep.
local app, so you can download
Yeah.
it, right? So it's
Yeah.
basically on top of cursor. So I built that, and for the onboarding thing, I created something, and then the client was like, "How long did you spend on this?" I'm like, "Yeah, a lot of times." A lot of times. Because they're expecting Figma prototype, and this thing is like working.
Yeah.
But like the thing I wanted to show you is kind of since you mentioned the teacher thing, let's see if it works now. Okay. So what is this, right? Don't worry about the content. The content is placeholder. What this
Yep.
is so I'm thinking I'm trying to get people to the course. And a lot of times people have this thing called lead magnet. I'm sure you've seen that, like landing page. It's like, oh, ebook, give me your email. That's a lead magnet. 10 things. And I was like, it's a lot of times those are bullshit, right?
Yep.
That's not really useful. I want something useful, and I know that for this course, the thing that worked as a marketing view will is like from this info session or like a workshop, people experience like working with me, and most importantly, when they start doing something. So I'm like, why don't I maybe create something where the AI they can experience AI immediately and maybe have a little activity, right?
Yeah.
And this could be used for education. So the idea here is that this thing is still dumb right now, but does it work?
Welcome to AI-powered UX design. I am your AI coach who will guide you through this presentation. Ready to start?
Yeah, let's start.
To start from the beginning, click the previous button repeatedly to get back to slide 1 or refresh the page. Take your time to understand each concept.
Yeah, that thing is still buggy, but what I'm building here is that it has the system prompt, so I'm telling it how to do this thing, right? Giving a knowledge base, text to speech.
How are you feeling about this concept so far?
Yeah, okay. We're okay for now. I need to add the mute button, obviously. And then for people who are not inclined for like talking, they could do the chat also.
Awesome.
And then they go through the slides, and then the thing will know like which slide you're in. And I'm implementing SQLite database. So
Okay.
the content could be personalized. So I want to
Yeah.
start with like what we normally do, like earlier this chat, right? Like we start with like, oh, what's your background, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So then the lesson could be personalized to their background.
That's what gives me the like good heebie-jeebies about AI is
Mhm.
all the personalized learning that could come from
Yes,
all.
that's what I'm really like excited about. I want to build more of that, and not to replace human, but to augment human, right? So for like the personal time, like you're learning, head down, you have this tutor, coach, and then you talk to the human for like the higher level.
Yeah. For like the personal interaction. Like, right, I've been working with AI for the last week. I've craved personal interaction,
Yeah, the human interaction. Yep.
the human interaction. Like it's irreplaceable.
Yep. And I think there is something to be said about this makes us want the human interaction, and then we can probably use that to actually push to question what kind of interaction is meaningful.
The more I talk to AI, the the I've never want to talk to humans more. Right? Like I've been working from home for like 8 years now. I'm okay not like I could go weeks without talking to another human besides my husband. Now that I've been talking to AI like more in the last couple weeks, I've been wanting to talk to humans
It's kind of,
way
isn't
more.
that interesting how the AI tried to mimic human, but because it's not human, even though you're almost like your social need is met, but it's not. It highlights even more.
Well, also, I'm talking more. Like I'm conversing more because I'm talking to AI more. And so like I'm adjusted more to talking. Whereas
Hmm.
when I was just working from home, I was doing more internal dialogue because I was typing more, but not talking.
Interesting. But what's interesting there from this observation is that even though you've been talking more, sounds like that makes you realize you want to talk to human more. It makes you
Yeah,
crave it even more.
yeah, yeah.
Interesting. So it's not like allowing you to, it's not satisfying the need, actually. It highlights the need of
Y-
connection even more.
Yeah, like I'm on this meetup to talk to a human.
It's so interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, anyhow, anything that I could, I guess, like help you with what you're building?
Yeah, I guess so when I saw this, so is it 6 weeks of info sessions that you're doing for this?
Oh, it's an actual, okay, I'm the navigation. I'm gonna share this again. I skip a slide. I think I got distracted by enjoying our conversation. Okay, I skipped the curriculum, which is the most important part. Um, this, this, this one. We
Okay.
didn't do this. Yes. So week one is fundamental, right? So prompt engineering, right?
For this meetup.
So this is outside of the meetup.
Okay, sorry. Yeah. It I'm gonna be a little autistic here. Uh for this meetup, looking at the meetup page, it
Oh,
seems
I
like
see. The info sessions. It's basically just the same thing.
okay, okay.
Yeah. So essentially, the info session is an opportunity for people to ask questions to learn about the course.
Gotcha. So like I wouldn't be coming back every week at
For
the same time.
you, come to the Wednesday ones, the learn and share. You'll enjoy that a lot.
Okay.
That's essentially what we do,
Wonderful.
like what we just did. We just share, like, oh, look what I did. And then people are like, oh, I learned this week. That's interesting. Like in the was it yesterday? Yeah, it just happened. Time is warm.
Yeah.
So yesterday, we're talking about vibe marketing.
Love
So
it.
have you used NNN?
Say that again.
So okay, I'm just gonna open this. Oh,
Oh, not
the
yet, but I just stood up a Coolify instance so I can deploy NN8.
yeah, yeah, and it's like this. I'm just gonna spin up the thing. Is it running container? No, it's not running. So I'm on a mission to also spam LinkedIn, just so you know, by creating the fake version of me, not the deep fake of me, because it's
Cool.
a way to actually like here I just like post video from script. So essentially from here, I could have this thing just running. This is the simplest way of doing it. Like just keep running and I could like trigger it and then you can put an LLM in the middle and
Yeah.
trigger it from Claude. So that's the next thing for me. So what I'm planning to do is that from a lot of these lessons that I've done, I would get the transcript, have the LLM like Claude to process it, pull the nuggets, and then
Yep.
turn it into script, put it here, turn it into video, and then it becomes a video and post it to LinkedIn. And this is like posting to LinkedIn live.
Nice. Have you done that already? Like if I go
Yeah.
on your profile, I can see it?
So this one I've done. Let me see if I could find
Because
one.
I've thought about doing the same thing. Like I have plans to be a content creator. I'm so excited about it. It's
So
one of those things I think about in my head and eventually get to someday.
this one, I never shot this. Well, I shot the reference, but the actual
that traditionally are considered nice to have by the product team. They are prototyping and user research. Before AI, the focus is on getting.
so it's using this thing called HeyGen. Let's see, projects. There. This is like where is it? Start using ML wireframing. So with this, I could, whenever I create a new video, I could just reuse the same template, if you will. It would lip sync it, voice, everything, and I don't have to reshoot it.
So you're recording this meeting?
No, not this meeting.
Oh,
Actually, am I? Yeah, I'm recording it.
okay. Is there a chance, based on what you're saying with how your workflow is,
Mhm.
you're able to tease out all the different tools that we've mentioned?
Oh yeah, that's not that hard.
And then in your LinkedIn post, are you able to then reference all of them and then tag me in LinkedIn?
Um, that should be possible. So essentially the
If
workflow
you
here.
if that's a post you wouldn't mind posting.
Yeah, actually that's a good idea. Look at you, content creator. So essentially this thing is going to open here. So I could create the video first based on that through HeyGen and then post it. Yeah, give me your LinkedIn or I gave you my LinkedIn so we can connect.
I just sent you a connection request.
So yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
could be like multiple parts too if it's like longer.
Yeah. Or you could do a video for each one even, like tag me in each one. Whatever, but like
Nice.
uh it's been a lot of like great new tools I haven't heard of and like all relevant and whatnot.
Yeah. So this automation, I feel like is going to be the next unlock
Yeah.
because this is local, right? So you can run it whenever and there's no limit. If you paid for like Zapier or one of those, it gets expensive really fast.
Get me started how I couldn't even find my Zapier account and I was getting charged for it and I tried canceling it and never used it and all the things SaaS that I'm paying for because I thought I was gonna have this content creation and I got set. Yeah, my life.
Well, let me give you one more actually. This is gonna be key since you're gonna get into this is what I'm gonna do next. Since you're getting into the content creation game also. It's called Blotato. So from the video, right? It
Ooh.
with API to like YouTube, to LinkedIn, to this, to this, to this, to this. This is where like, and then this is the recipe for N8N. So
Yeah.
you can get the JSON, import it to work as a workflow.
Yeah.
You just customize it and you didn't have to like do like everything from scratch.
Perfect. Oh, amazing.
Yeah, this is the next thing. I mean, like soon enough, we're gonna be bombarded with like more crazy content. Like not real. But for now,
The thing, I don't mind that so much. People want it,
yeah. I mean, like we're already there in a way.
right?
Yeah, we're already
Yeah.
there.
And
So,
that's the ecosystem. This happens, and then a counteract happens,
yeah,
and then
yeah, yeah.
so, and F it. Things get blocked all the time. So if it gets too spammy, something will come out to block it. But while it's there, let's let's make
Yeah,
money off of it.
yeah, I love that. That's the big mindset shift for me because I'm such a builder and teacher. I'm like BSing in my mind. It's like called BSing. Like selling
Yeah.
or selling is hard. But then I'm
I
like, if I'm providing value, why am I not being loud? I'm actually providing real value.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. Like the algorithms are set up in the way that if people like it, they'll get it. If they don't, they won't. Like, I like
Yep.
you. Like, I'm really invigorated by this talk. I'm so excited that there's a way to stay connected. And
Yes,
so,
yes,
like,
yes.
I'm adding the Wednesdays to my calendar and
It may
like,
not be me, it may be my doppelganger, but close enough. I don't know now.
oh, that'd be so cool.
Actually, this HeyGen one, it has that. It's called interactive avatar. So it's like
Yeah.
like for like customer service call, but you're talking to a non-human with the.
Okay.
But I'm like, yeah, I don't think I'm ready for that.
Trust me. And I've thought about this 100 different ways, like to like even do it so like people get so hateful and they want to cancel people to like have the avatar so it's not me and like fine cancel my avatar don't cancel me kind of things but like I'm with you. Okay, so will you be at some Wednesdays?
No, mostly
So
I'm on the Wednesday thing most
okay,
of the time.
yeah.
And where are you in DC area? Are you in like DC or you're Virginia?
DC,
Oh
like
wow.
when I go for walks, I like usually get to the Capitol building.
Oh
So,
wow. Well, my
yeah.
brother lives in, well, DC Metro, I guess, like outside of DC in Virginia.
Oh, awesome. So, do you get to so it's a metro like a Acceler ride away
Yeah,
for you.
I go there pretty often, like once, twice a year, or like
Oh, good. So we can do
or like
coffee sometime.
yeah, I definitely would like that. So like
Oh,
Thanksgiving, normally I'm there with my daughter,
yeah.
and then like sometimes like one or two other times. I actually might be there like this August. I'll hit you up. We'll hang
Okay, awesome. Yeah. And you'll see me very soon on Wednesday when we're both humanly there.
out. Maybe.
Maybe. It was so nice to meet you.
Same here, same here. I'm glad that we got to do this. And yeah, who cares if nobody else joins? It's, it's more fun.
Everything happens for a reason.
I agree.
I totally believe that these days.
Okay.
Bye.